If you're like me, the first time I ever saw BeamNG Drive, I was watching a YouTube video and another one popped up with this car rolling and crashing and then doing some amazing jumps. And I'm like, what game is this? I've never played this before. I played like Grand Theft Auto 5 and some of the other racing games, and this was different, really intriguing. The cars were having real damage. The environment was causing them to have damage. Even some of the environments themselves were moving and being damaged. You don't normally see this in most games, so that's where BeamNG Drive really stood out for me. I started playing about a year ago, and ever since then I've been trying to learn more and more about the game. There's a lot of stuff in the base game I still don't understand, but I'm learning. Anyway, if you've ever been in that position and have wondered how to make some of these amazing cars appear in your game or maps that you see people on YouTube using all the time, this is the reason I'm making this tutorial. So I've got some computer experience, but I'm not that great. I can go through and figure stuff out, but it usually takes me a little while. Anyway, BeamNG's mods that are in the official BeamNG repository and on the official BeamNG site, they're all basically here available in the game. You can go through the repository to install any of those that are on the mod site. And there are third-party mod sites out there, but be aware there's been issues with viruses and other problems with the downloads. So make sure to use those with caution and make sure to do virus scans before installing them in your direct. Anyway, so this is the thing. You want to get into where the directory is for the mods. You go to your drive where BeamNG is installed, go to your user folder. Under user folder, you choose app data, and then you can go into the local directory, go to BeamNG, select the current version folder, and then you can find the mod folder where everything's installed that you've downloaded. This includes mods that are downloaded from the repository. If you go to BeamNG's website and go to the community tab, go under mods, and these are the same mods that you will find that are already available in the repository, but this is another way you can download them and install them into the directory manually. The other nice thing is there are a lot of mod creators that are out there working on the BeamNG forum, creating new mods that are, sometimes needing testing, still in the works, and this is a great place to try out some of the new stuff. Just be aware that if you're downloading some of the mods, some of the developers will make a note that they're experimental or in alpha. So those, you want to make sure you read all the notes and read the forums and see, recommendations from the mod creator on how to make them work. Also on the mod page on BeamNG, they have a file on how to install mods. Pretty self-explanatory. You can walk through that as well. But basically, once you find the mod you want, look at the description and all the pictures and whatever is supplied by the mod creator. And then once you're sure that's the one you want, choose to download the file. This will go into your download folder. You can find it there. You should see the zipped file. Once you find that, you can open up the BeamNG directory and install the file in the mods folder. I, however, decided to install it in the vehicles folder. So when you do this, it's not a big deal. It won't show up in the game. So you'll have to come back and move it to the mods folder in order for it to show up. Once the mods are installed, now it's time to have some fun. Let's test them out and see how these new mods work. I've been wanting to try out more and more of the off-road vehicles in this game. I tend to enjoy the off-road areas a lot better than just the driving around the city. I do that enough in real life. So anyway, let's see here. Got the new buggy, and it's showing up in the menu. Choose one of them here. Go with the Sandcar manual. And one of the things I read about this mod, let's use the new Snowtrax to start. Yeah, Snowtrax from Butch 13 Racing. Check out his channel. He's another cool creator on YouTube, and he started making tracks and mods and stuff. So kind of cool. Anyway, like I was saying, I was reading up on this mod, and everybody was griping about the transmission messing up and stuff. And if you just read the notes and what the mod creator intended, this is supposed to be realistic. I mean, BeamNG is really, that's what the design's for, to be as realistic as possible. And if you've ever been around off-road vehicles and buggies like this, they have, a manual transmission, and that's what this is designed. If you think it's going to work with the arcade and automatic mode, it's not. It was set up to work as a manual transmission, so you actually use the clutch, you actually use the shifter, so you can do it with the controller, you can do it with the keyboard, just whatever your preference, but you do have to use it as designed. You know, a lot of the games, you just jump in, mash the button, go. That's great. And some cars do that. You have automatic and CVT transmissions, but this is a specialty vehicle, and a really cool one at that. Alright, so navigated around on the first track, and now I'm going to take a run through some of the trees to get to one of the other tracks. I like this buggy. Manual transmission. I don't normally use the manual in the game, but it's a lot of fun now that I'm playing around with it. This mod actually does work well, and the suspension and everything is really nice. Anyway, alright, got here to the next track. Try this out. Alright, come on. There we go. Still getting used to the shifting, but it's actually really smooth if you do it like it was intended. This is one of the lighter sand cars. It's not the sand limo, the pre-runner one that was on there. But I decided to just try this one out. I like the green. And of course, I brought the sand car to the snow, which, they run pretty good in the snow, actually. We got some areas around where I am that, up in the mountains, I see guys running the buggies that I'd normally see out at the dunes. They'll be running them in the mountains. There's several good off-road areas. Butch 13 has his billboard up on his track. That makes sense. Nice advertising. Yeah, I like the flow of this track. It's very nice. Anyway, let's go over to the area where these cars are meant to be. So Dune Kicker Base Camp, Johnson Valley map, and I always forget which way to get out to the open dunes. Alright, well, I'll do my usual. Just bash it out across the land until I get to the open dunes where I want to be. You know, I can always use the map and go F7, but this is fun. Okay, finally clearing the scrub brush. Here we go. This is the environment these cars were meant to be in. Nice. I love the suspension travel on these things. And like most of the mods, there's a bunch of customization and tuning you can do within the game on each car. So there's just so much to play with on BeamNG. That's why I'm hooked. Been a fun little romp with some new mods, and I hope this tutorial was helpful for you if you haven't ever messed with the mods before, especially the manually installing. Anyway, play around with it, and remember, if you mess up and make mistakes, that's how you learn. If you liked my video today, check out some of my other off-roading adventures, linked above. And if you have any feedback or comments, I'd appreciate them. Always looking for helpful ideas. Get up over this next hill here. If I can get it up this one. Remember to shift the gear. Trying to take off in third wasn't good. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for the day. Hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Just leave me some feedback and what you think about some of these mods. And if you have any comments or suggestions or would like to see something else, let me know. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.